Hello, man. That fucked it all up. I was trying to do milder MGTOW. Dogs, right on cue. That's chaos. It went. It went chaos. Let me see what's going on with him. I think someone came to the door. No one's knocking. Come on, dogs. Come on, dogs. Come on, dogs. What's going on? What's going on, buddy? it was hilarious. I had it planned. I was going on the air, and then like as soon as I pushed that button, all hell broke loose. And Dougie started going nuts. He knows. Hello. Are you gonna stop any second now? Any second now? You got your moment of wolf. He got his moment of wolf out there, and he let everybody know he exists. Dougie exists. Okay. I had this whole really gay opening like set up for this, and is there someone out there, Doug? There's someone in your neighborhood, in your yard. I think it's a neighbor across the street. He just borrowed a gallon of antifreeze from me. He had an antifreeze problem and his thermostat blew up, so he's just over. Now Dougie's all on edge. There's strangers in the yard. So I'm sorry about that. I fucked up the opening. I totally dropped the ball on that one. Hello, Ben. Hello, Whiskey. Hello, Zoom. Let me see. I can't see there. It's the small screen. Hello, Hetty Lukey. Hello, John Kramer. John Kramer says he's work lurking. I don't really, I was going to do mild MGTOW entrance too, which was totally what not happened. It totally didn't happen. I was going to, hello, MGTOWs. Hello, men. like oh, some bitch. Now that just blew everything. Thank you for that, Dougie. Thank you. He knows what time it is. I think they always know. It's always timing. Everything's time in life. The best laid plans of mice and men. But I guess we have a topic today. I forgot what it was. I was sleeping in my big fat ass chair. And I guess the topic is, did you ever feel like you had a calling in life? Did you feel like, I don't know, some of us that come around MGTOW, it's an unshakable feeling of MGTOW. It's like we have a calling to come here. I know what it was like for me too. Once I seen it, I examined MGTOW, and it didn't take but a second, and I knew I would just be hanging around here for the rest of my life. It's something that I can't shake. It was something that I felt so strongly about that it was like I had no choice in it. Lots of us do. You're not alone out there. Most of the time I come on and I try to be positive, but that positivity sometimes slips, and my aim is to encourage you and think about your future, life, work, without that anxiety, the female anxiety. It's what we try to do around here. It's honest and it's decent, and we ponder, and we ponder our calling in life, and whatever we do, whatever we want to do, what we're supposed to do in this huge, large world where there's zillions and zillions of people, and that's a little hyperbole, I know, but we ponder life through the red pill lens of MGTOW, and we should not feel anxious about these things, or like we're outsiders, but often we're forced to feel anxious about your MGTOW and what you believe about those things, and knowing who you're meant to be or who to become. A calling is a very hard thing to ignore. It's like something's been planted in you, and the farther you walk away from it, the more it hurts. And that's the way sometimes I feel about MGTOW. The more I try to walk away from it, the more it hurts. I try to ignore it some days because sometimes this calling that we have, it's not pleasant. But I muscle through it, and there's trials and tribulations in this thing. And every day, every single day, it seems like I get called names, and every day I just kind of shake them off my back, and like uh, like water off a duck's back. And it really means a lot to me that we have been able to pressure my way and just push my way through that. But a calling is something you can't give up on. Like if I would have ever left MGTOW, I would feel like that there's that hole in the soul that was there before like-minded men permitted me to talk out and open about things that I believe about this world. I believe about the world that I live in. That in itself is worth living for. I know there's this sort of this dichotomy in MGTOW, and sometimes, like I say, don't get me wrong. Every Traversable podcast pretty much is not going to leave you feeling safe and secure in this world about everything else around her. I'm going to tell you some things sometimes that's going to make you feel quite awful about being a person, and quite awful about being a man, and quite awful about the world you live in. I'm not that pleasant. That's why I wanted to do the opening, because the opening would have made this intro so much better. but Dougie had to say so. Yeah, I'm not Mr. Happy. I'm not Mr. Nice Guy. I'm not the guy that's here put on this planet to make you feel secure about your existence. I know a lot of people back off me because they want Mr. Happy. They want Mr. Smooth, Mr. Nice Guy. Like, hello, MGTOWs. How are you? Hey, life's a joy. Come on the MGTOW train. Everything's beautiful here. No, that's not me, and I'm not going to tell you those lies. Hope is a cruel thing to give this MGTOW, some MGTOWs, and I believe that with all my heart. I don't want to give you hope or false hope when we're pretty much living in an isolated world that's appropriate response to the world we live in. And I see a lot around me, this adolescent rebellion, this Dionysian wilderness or wildness around. It's a hedonism, and everybody's it's party and gonna get some, party till you die, woo thing. And Dionysus was sort of the son of Zeus, if you know the story about that. Dionysus was the son of hedonism, I think. It depends how you look at that thing, and there's an interesting story that goes behind Dionysus, and that's why, if you didn't know who Dionysus was, he's like crazy party boy. He was Zeus's son, but there's an interesting backstory to that. Saras was the woman that Zeus impregnated, and she came to seek out Zeus to, probably bitch at him, like, you're going to pay child support to this kid. And looking at Zeus, the mere image of a god in front of you, Ceresis, or I can't remember her name, she disintegrated, or she just died in front of him. And she was carrying Zeus's son, and what Zeus did was very surprising. He disemboweled her, and he ripped her open, and he grabbed the baby from within her, and he ripped his leg open, and he put the baby in his leg. So there's a good story, and it's a metaphor, and it's a metaphor for things that happen in this life. Sometimes Dionysus was quite a son. He was everything. He was everything about all those things, and sometimes what we throw into the world is what we didn't expect. And I don't think Zeus ever expected that, but he was born of the flesh of a god. He ate his way out, and they said he had little horns and little, so it's an interesting story. If you ever get to read it, it's a horrible little story about the dismemberment of people, pretty much, and being dismembered and horror of life.
Advancement to the colonial age fills me with relish.
So I'm rambling now. I'm showing my eggheadiness, and I'm rambling. Let me go with, and put the. Let me go up here and put the thing in here, so I can see who's in the room. Hello, Red Pill Swallow. Hello, Savage Reality. I got a little clip here, and it's really screwing me up. I can't read here on this. Hello, fellows. Hello, Whiskey, and Whiskey's got the wrench today. And good day to have the wrench, because I have a feeling something else weird is going to happen, seeing that my intro went all awry. And it threw me for a loop, and then I lost track on what I wanted to talk about today. But yeah, I think MGTOW calling is the subject today, and I hear it from a lot of MGTOWs, and we hear it often in the form. We hear it often in the forum that comes. I'm glad there's men like me out here. I found MGTOW and realized there was men that thought like me, and I searched all my life, and all the simps that are out there, and all the white knights and the pussy beggars, and there was no men quite like me, or had quite the thought process of me. And then when I got into MGTOW, I realized that there was a lot of us. We're just eclectically scattered over the universe, and it's hard to meet each other. And that's a good feeling, and it's a thing. But in that sentence, in that thought, you have to say that, or you have to believe in this thing, this calling, this was my place. This was supposed to be. This is what I was supposed to be doing in the universe. I must believe that. Because, like I said, if I tried to walk away, I couldn't walk away from it. There would be a hole in me. Howdy, Trav. Unfortunately, I have to leave for work, and yeah, yeah, Whiskey works nights, and yeah, that's okay, Whiskey. You can listen tomorrow morning, or yeah. But I'll put thanks for saying, because I remember last time you left that I was left without a moderator, and I'm gonna have to give someone moderator.
Sakunan, I say
moderator, right? Since Joey's not in either. But yeah, this is a calling, and it means more to some people than it means to other people. When I look at your MGTOW, and I look at the MGTOW and how passionate some people are, and how impassionate some people are, that's sometimes it doesn't quite resemble the way I feel about MGTOW, and about how I feel about the program and what we're doing here, and what we're trying to fix in life, and the society where we have to live it and everything. If you can look out over all this stuff that we say, if you can look out over all the others and the humans out there, the meat machines and the slaves and the degenerate ones, and you can look out at all of that stuff, and you don't feel a little outrage, then I think then people are strange too. A lot of people go through life with this mild-manneredness, and they don't feel outraged about anything. And I noticed that with a few producers. Hello, Tony. Hello, Tony Carter. Hello, Ben Voller. And yeah, if you can go through this life without feeling that outrage, I think that's strange. It's sort of like being on a ladder over 12 feet in the air, and your body not telling you that you can fall and die. If you can look out over this world and not be outraged about what you see, that's a strange ability, and that's a little too mild-mannered for me. But that's the world we live in. There's a lot of people like that. We get some MGTOW producers that are like that. It seems like they looked out over this universe, and they looked out over MGTOW, and then they'll come back and say, "Hey, MGTOWs, just shake it off and be, get over it, and be mild-mannered like me." And that's not me, and that's not the Joe you'll ever get. I do feel outrage about these things. I feel passionate about this thing, and I do believe we have a calling, and there's something the gods or the universe or whatever is out there, Zeus, or if you believe in Jesus or Zeus or Buddha or Muhammad, or if you think you're floating on a pedal in the middle of a pond. I don't care what you think about all that stuff, but when I do look at MGTOW, I know certain men were called here to do this job, and way back in the beginning in 2004, there was very, very few of us, and it was. We kind of decided on a system of rage because everything we did and everything we said was just it was taken. We realized that if we were those mild-mannered men that tried to talk reasonably to people, we would never be heard. No one was going to listen to us. The female voice was taking over. Something was going on with males. Males weren't acting right.
I say.
I personally think it was the invention of Prozac, but people weren't acting right. People were like, "Hey, yeah, I see that, but I'm not really. That's not my problem." Back in 2000, if you didn't, back a little before that too, if you weren't outraged at all the drugs that were coming in our country and all the gang violence and the murders that were happening, you were just on Prozac. Seems like most of the world, it seems like, was on Prozac, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that stuff's all groovy, but I'm just gonna do my own thing." And I was like, really? Can you ignore this thing that goes on? Feminism was just happening, and I think that's what permitted them to get that whole thing off. Nobody felt outraged until probably 2000, when it was too late, before we all woke up and we all seen the horror of this thing. Hello, MGTOW Capone. I really enjoyed your talk last night. You have a great way of speaking, and I like the porch look with the hoodie, and keep on doing it. Keep on doing it, MGTOW Capone, and keep on. Matter of fact, that's where I started thinking about the MGTOW calling, because MGTOW Capone said he felt like he was supposed to be here. This is what he's supposed to be doing, and we all get that in MGTOW, and it is a calling. Once you get, it's not. Sometimes it's not all the bullshit that goes on. Sometimes it's, that adds to it. And you start wondering about your place in this universe, your place in life and everything. And you see how horrifically destructive society treats men, and how easy it is to fall into the position where you're just something less than what you wanted to be. And I didn't want to be a slave to a feminist society, I didn't want to be a slave to, all them things. They made it a job position now that's filled. How many of you want to be slaves? Nope, not me. I don't want to fill that position. I choose not to fill that position in life. And MGTOW is obviously the best place place in the world. If you don't want to fill one of those slave positions and you feel something's wrong, I implore men to come in here, because that's the most horrible feeling in the whole world, when you're sitting there and you've done everything right. You've done everything you're supposed to. You went to school, you graduated from school, you got a job, you took some college, you maybe served in the military, all those things. You said, hey, go get a woman and go get married and have some kids, and you did that, and then at the end of that, the whole system was a lie, and you were betrayed, and they said, yeah, now the last thing you have to do is volunteer. Just take the oath and say there's some metaphysical there's some metaphysical contract to the world that you have where you have to now take the oath and say, I'll be a good slave and I won't complain about it. No, I was fed up, done, sick, had, beat around, you know, all those things. I was angry and I was outraged. And when I see MGTOW, it filled a big gaping hole in my life that I couldn't articulate, and I couldn't put my thumb on what it was. And then they said it, and I say, you know, I believe that. And you know, we talked back then, and you know, I didn't know there was other men that felt this way, that it was so unfair. You know, the world was so unfair, and there should not be a reason for that, but it's just the way it is, you know, through the disposable male theory. That's just the way it is, Joe. And they said, sorry, pal, you were the disposable male. Yeah, sucked. Didn't see that coming. You know, that sucked. And I didn't see it coming, honestly. I thought that if I did everything I was supposed to do, the life would work out. And I found that was quite a lie, because there's an undercurrent society that makes money off of us, that uses us as a system built to extract your utility and your labor and your and your usefulness out of this world, and that leaves you nothing left. So I guess that's the thing. Do you belong here? Do you feel you belong here in MGTOW? I don't think a lot of these guys. When I look at Danny's channel, and I look at you know, some of the alt-writers, and even Power to the most part, the question, the honesty that I would ask him is, do you feel you belong here? Do you feel you have a calling here? Do you feel this is the space where, if nothing was going right in your life, and you didn't have a job, and you didn't have a woman, and you didn't have a house or a car, would you still be one of those guys that made MGTOW videos? Is this your calling? If you walked away from this, would that leave such a hole in your soul that that you would probably crumble to your knees and never want to get up again? Would that be it? Or is this just a fun place to come around where men say shocking things? I think most MGTOWs have to answer that question, because if it's the latter, if it's not that place, this place could get irritating. This place could be harmful and damaging to you. And I implore all those people that don't feel as passionate as I, and most men that come around here, and Whoosh and Heidi and MGTOW Capone and Ego Sum, and you know, men that are passionate. Ben Valacoster have been coming around for years and years, and you know, he's a nice guy, and you talk, and Savage, you know, Reality. It's a new one to me, but Whiskey Stills. When I see Whiskey Stills and Tumbleweeds, I see a real passion for this. I see something that you can't walk away from. That would be it would be too hard. That would leave a hole in you. And that's all I wanted to talk about today. That's what I really wanted to talk about today. Is do these guys really, should they ask themselves the one question, the one pertinent question in life? Do you belong here? Do you have a passion for this? Is this your calling? And if not, what the hell are these guys doing here? I think it's an easy way, once you do that, to determine the motivations of some people. I think it's an easy way to determine what their intentions are for you, if they have some malice towards you, and what you believe in the MGTOW, and you know, if it's always a question, if there's always that question about it, and no acceptance, then I must believe that some people really have some malicious intent around here. But that's what we've been seeing playing out, malicious intent. the keck, the jokes. It's just let's go over the MGTOW and rub those guys' heads for a while. Let's go over the MGTOW and rub all the wounded males' heads, you know, and because that's an honorable thing to do. It's like saying, let's go over to the depression page on some blog over there and just we'll just fuck with the people with depression. I think someone would say, what are you, a freaking animal? I mean, we don't do that in MGTOW. We don't go over to the homosexual areas or the, we try not to. Dolly Diddlers came to us. But them kind of people and go over there and maliciously and intentionally screw with them. I know most MGTOWs would never do that. They're happy and content in their area, talking to like-minded men like themselves, because this place did fill that void in their life where they couldn't get nowhere else. And whether you live in New York City or beautiful Providence, Ohio. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what city that is. I've been trying to figure it out. It looks like Chicago from the waterfront, but I'm not sure. It's not Cleveland because there's no stadium, and it's not the Baltimore Harbor. I don't think it's the Baltimore Harbor because there's not a wall that goes around. And I do that. I bought that because basically I don't do my dishes some days, and I didn't want you to see my dirty dishes.
I say,
there's selfish intentions here. You know why I covered. Hello, Savage MGTOW. Hello, hello, Dr. Omni. Haven't seen Dr. Omni. Hello, Dr. Omni. A Savage Reality. And all the guys that come around and join in and talk on the chat. That's important. Like I say, without you guys, there wouldn't be a MGTOW. And I really mean that. Without each and every one of these MGTOWs that are passionate about this. And, back in the early days, I didn't do no MGTOW productions. Hey, Metal. My friend Metal. I was running a fishing page over on YouTube, my first one, and I wasn't doing MGTOW videos, and I was just being a supporter of MGTOW. And that's important, guys, that have the producers' backs. Back in the day when Barbarossa first came out, there would be 30,000 trolls come in there. Can you imagine that? And there was very few of us MGTOWs that had his back. And I hope you appreciate that, because we spent hours a day of our life just arguing with these traditional men and these blue pill men, and we put that time in day after day after day to make sure MGTOW would be a safer place for men to come around and just be MGTOW, you know, and be like all the rest of the men. And that's the thing. When you say I come around here and I founded like-minded men like myself that thought like myself, you're pretty much saying you're like the rest of the men. Now we got these new crowd coming in, and they're saying, I'm so special. I'm so fucking special. And I don't agree with MGTOW about a lot of things they're saying. You got to wonder, they're not like-minded men, so what are they doing around, or why are they hanging around? Is their life so pathetic that going to other pages where they is their life so pathetic that they troll other pages? Would they be that guy that would go over to a depression forum and just start fucking with people with depression? I think they are. I think they have malicious intent, malintent for people, and they don't care. They're the same kind of people that you meet all out there. They don't care. They would come and if you did have a relationship and a wife, that would be the same guy that would fuck your wife. That'd be the same guy that would be coming around while you're at work trying to fuck her. Yeah, we all have those guys. We're married or we're dating and everything. You know those guys. They're always trying. They're always creeping around. Most of the time, they're little creepy, like little purple pill guys. You know, out in the world, you can identify those purple pill guys by their actions. They're the cackling hyenas that we talk about.
I say, coup.
Men of tremendously low energy. Oh, we talk about those men in here. We're not afraid to say we we get that accusation that, man, you Traversable, you shame other men. You're not a MGTOW and you're not allowed to shame other men. No, there's certain brands of men that I shame, and I shame hard. I mean, I turn the shame up on those guys. You know them. There's 4 or 5 different kinds and varieties. The cackling hyenas, the pea hounds, the simps, and the white knights. You know, them guys, yeah, they deserved shame. And you see them everywhere. You see them in Hollywood. You see them on your streets. You see them. I used to live in an apartment building, and the apartment building was U-shape, and then there was a little parking in it. And I used to be able to sit there with my beer on this set of steps that go up the apartment building. And it was a groovy little singles place with all kinds of groovy people doing all kinds of weird things and everything. But I would sit my beer, and at least once every Friday night, there was some simp down on his knees, you know, come on, baby, let me back into my house. And she'd be yelling, go away, and throwing pots and shit. It's such a cliche, I know. It's such a cliche, but they're walking cliches. And then when you see it, you go, ooh, look. It's a simp, and he's going to do that simp thing, and he's going to do that thing where he's going to get down on his knees and he's going to beg. I see that way too many times in life, especially in an apartment. I used to work apartment buildings, so I live big, huge apartment buildings, and so I kind of see it a lot. There's always some simp. Apartment buildings are interesting because they're mini cities, all people crammed into a little mini city, and if you do have that U-shaped thing going on, you can see that building, you can see that building, you can see that building, and there's 30 families, there's 30 families, there's 30 families, there's 30 people, there's 30 people, and then you get to see the damnedest things. And most of the damnedest things that I've seen is those simps down on their knees, begging her to let open the door, usually followed up by the police showing up and removing him. The police are now not really police. They're just thug enforcers for meeting ritual laws, and which is pretty pathetic. If I was a cop, I'd be like, I have nothing to do with that. What are you, crazy? I'm a thug for ritualized Christianity mating ritual laws. Go fuck yourself. That's what I would say. Go fuck yourself in the horse that you rode in on. And I sometimes don't understand why the cops do that. You know, it's just weird to me. It's like, wow, look at those two guys. They're just enjoying it too. Do they think they're going to get laid? Are they simps? And that's usually what it is. I think they think they're going to get. Here's my phone number, baby. You can call me for protection anytime you want. What a pathetic hyena. What a pathetic simp. But I've seen that in life before too. But I think the original topic was more important than all my rambling and mumbling about the certain specific types of men that I don't think are MGTOW, because they never asked themselves a question around here is you know, was this a calling? Did you feel passionately about this? Do you still feel passionately about this, or was this just an argument with another MGTOW? If it's just an argument with another MGTOW and these guys are hanging around, I think they're in the wrong place, and I think they're wasting their lives, because you're not going to change our minds. If it was a passion and it was a calling and you couldn't move away from it and you couldn't take your eyes off of it and you could no longer live without this kind of ideas in your life, you know, I'm never getting married. I'm going to tell the men never to get married. There's something wrong with the universe out here. There's something called gynocentrism. Women do hypergamous things. They ain't the angels that you thought they were. You know, basically love is just chemicals running around in your brain. There's no such thing as the metaphysical heart muscle that Cupid shoots. There's a lot of things that you need to know. And if you're the bright and intelligent kind of person, you'll pick up on that stuff and go, that's a truth. That's a truth. But the whole world, The whole world is living in la la land. Sometimes I think that most people are crazy and they believe in metaphysical things. It's sad to see the results of those things, and I think that's what permits a lot of the garbage to go around. They really do believe that there's a Cupid shooting this other heart muscle. It sits next to your real one, the one that is filled with bacteria and that pumps the blood because you've been hanging around with the girls. And then there's this metaphysical one over here that Cupid, bing, a little naked baby does. That shit's weird. I mean, when you talk about love in that way, like the heart wants what the heart wants. I hear that. I hear that from the degenerate class of people that generally can't keep with one boyfriend and screw around and everything, or the old one that one I'm just. I feel like I'm a bird trapped in a cage. I was like, I just want to punch them kind of people in the face because because they're so off balance. There's something so wrong with the way they think and everything. You hear all those classic lines. I put one up from Ronaldo as my thing. I just changed that today. I changed the one, and he says, as long as she's happy, I don't care. What a simp statement. What a simp statement. I was like, fuck that bitch. I don't care if she's happy and I hope she dies. That's it, And I know that's tough, after you get over all that bullshit and all that stuff. Hey, I don't care if women are happy. I don't care if feminists are happy. They can all go to hell and I hope they all die. That's the way. Go see Jesus, and if I can assist you on your way there, I will. All I want is you to go to heaven. I'll make that happen if I can. Yeah. Life becomes cruel, and it becomes as cruel as it is to you and I. The heart wants what the heart wants. God, I hate that statement. God, I just want to slap everybody I've ever heard say that. The heart wants what the heart wants. Movie Hollywood statements to delusional people that justify some kind of abhorrent behavior that they've been acting out in this world, or they're struggling with their own morality. So they need these little catchphrases to get them through that struggle with their morality.
Sakunan.
But Joe, you're not allowed to say them things. Bad man. Bad man. And that's what we get. I'm not allowed to say those things. I'm not allowed to point out the hideous hypocrisies in this world. That makes me a bad man. That's what. And then they come around. You see them all. There's a certain special group just brewing out there now. I think we finally got rid of all those Christians. Thank God. They're saturating the whole. It was like, ooh, what smells? And it's the Christians over there. They're trying to tell us that Jesus is gonna. Jesus wants you to get married. The guy that never got married wants you to get married. No, that shit's milk apple. I know milk apple. When I see it, wink, wink, nod, nod. Who else is in there? James Gilbert, Savage Reality. Wouldn't surprise me. Big tell that. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I lost the thread a few minutes ago. Hello, Speciation, my friend Speciation. It's always good to see you around. There are many things they can do, like block and higher taxes, driver's license suspensions. Yeah, there's many things that they will do, and they all base themselves around barbaric mating ritual laws. They will enforce. You will become incombatant if you don't acquiesce to the stupidity of these barbaric mating ritual laws. If they ever looked at it like that, I mean, if the judge ever was in a drink piece of coffee, like, man, you know what? I enforce barbaric mating ritual laws that are Christian in nature. I think he'd want to shoot himself if he ever said that honest truth to himself. But let me see, hey Joe. this little thing here. It's a little band. You can't see it, but it's hanging down right through my chat. It's to hold the camera up, and it's hanging down right through the chat, and it's really starting to bother me. It's like, stop it. Not you, Doug. You keep on licking your balls. That's what you do best.
Okay.
Dougie. Oh God, he was bothering me yesterday, and he was on cue today, wasn't he? He was like, Joe's gonna push the button any second now. I think he was just staring there. He's looking over there, and he's going, as soon as Joe pushes the button, I'm gonna start barking my ass off.
Comment say? Ikho.
And he did. And he did. Right on cue. Yeah. I had a whole audio file I was gonna play too, right at that moment, but I lost my track when he did that. He was like, oh man, take me off my game, Dougie. Dougie takes me off my game. But he was right. 2 minutes before that, like a minute and a half before that, someone came over to borrow some antifreeze, and I got my Amazon package. He's got his dog food. It was like 60 pounds of dog food in my Amazon package. Some dried vegetables and dried products that I get from Amazon. So it came to the door, and he was all happy to see his Alpo. He does love his Alpo. So where are you guys at in your MGTOW? We rarely talk about where each and every one of you guys are at in your MGTOW. How do you feel about it? Are you passionate for it still? Is it waning? Is it hard to be a MGTOW? Is it harder now to be a MGTOW than it's ever been? I don't think so. If you were around at the beginning, that was hard, man. Them guys were like, you guys are just fags that don't want to pay your child support, which is a fucking milk apple still. How can you be a fag that doesn't want to pay his support? The two things don't kind of match up. If I was a fag, I wouldn't have children. You ever think about that? You ever think about that when they say that? You guys are just fags that don't want to pay your child support. How does that work? Tell me. How does that work out in your brain? Where does that logic go? But that's what the blue pill world's about. That's what the Matrix is about. It's about taking illogical things, putting them together, falsely equating things, and making it line up so it seems like it's justice. So basically, the well-to-do and 2% can live a better life. This keeps going out. I don't know why. It's a Newport, and I bought it. It's a Newport. It was a Newport. I spent $7 on it. $8. Once in a while, I splurge and treat myself to the good ones instead of buying the Mavericks, which are Newport anyways because they're made by Newport. But they put the little bridges in them now so they go out. Actually, outside of my 10-year marriage, I was pretty much, actually outside of my 10-year marriage, I was pretty much living a MGTOW lifestyle. MGTOW Vet 67 says outside of us. Yeah, I was in my, I think I was still at the end of my marriage, 2000. We were at a party and I heard Angry Harry talking on the radio. He got 5 minutes on the BBC. He was supposed to get a half hour to talk. And Angry Harry got 5 minutes. They tore him apart for 25 minutes. You know, there was that old lady and then the guy with the perfect British voice on the BBC that, I was listening. I don't know, someone handed me a pamphlet back then. They were pamphleteering that watch Angry Harry. If you have never seen him, please watch him on the BBC. So I tuned it into the radio station at the party, and there's me and maybe 5 guys standing there, and we were drinking beer, and it was like the music was playing, and we're trying to listen to Angry Harry. And I was still married at that time, and in that 5 minutes, everything he said, he had 5 minutes to catch me, to hook me, and he did. And he did, and I says, yeah, there's something honest and true about what he was saying, and the truth, when you're hit with the truth, you can't ignore it, and no matter how no matter how some of these guys they shake their heads and they go, no, 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 MGTOW. Like little kids, they're like, no, 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 that can't be true. I still need to pee. You know, I still need the girls around me. I need the validation, and I won't listen. No, 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 no. They're like little kids, like that picture of the little kid like this. No, no, I will be getting a sucker. Mom, you will be buying that. You know, that's what they're like.
I see.
Little kids that aren't. Just talking about them, nothing. But yeah, that's Angry Harry hit me with that truth, and I was still married at that.
I see.
Unhappily married, very unhappily married. You know, she was what she was. Stop telling Heidi what to do. Now that's one we hear in MGTOW all the time now. You know, stop telling the men what to do. I'm not telling anybody. Well, none of us producers are telling anybody what to do. We're just saying, hey, from my life experience and the pain that I've had to endure in this life, there's a better way if you accept it now as a young man. Man, life is going to be so groovy. It'll be like hippie shit, you know, all your life. It'll be just a groovy and hippie shit and flowers and rainbows and sunshines and bullshit. You know, if you don't accept it and you go down that road, there's probably a 72% chance you're going to end up as miserable as such miserable old man. And I don't want to see anybody going through that. I don't want to see anybody going there. No. I would say that, man, it breaks my heart that there are so many MGTOWs. Because this isn't happy, joy place. You know, like I said, don't get me wrong. No one leaves a Traversable MGTOW podcast feeling safe and secure about their position in life, about their ideas in life. That's my job in this world, to steer that up and say, hey, there's fucking crazy going on out there. Did you look at it? Did you go to Google? Yeah, we all have Google. You can see the horror and the nightmare of the female behavior and the system, how it's failing us terribly, you know, and bridges are falling over and people are stupid, and it's just, yeah, why do we need men, you know? They're saying, why do we need men? Well, just keep building those bridges and you'll find out, girls. When the whole infrastructure collapses, and I think that was the original thing. It's like, we're just going to walk away. We're going to take these big two strong arms with us and see how you get along there for a while. Last year, right around this time, and you'll see it again, Chicago was bitching and complaining, whining and moaning, me, the whole city of Chicago was crying and complaining because there's 42,000 men short on the construction jobs. They couldn't find 42,000 men that wanted to die while they're working. Imagine that. And I think you'll see that more accentuated and accentuated. I don't know if that's the right word. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. You'll see it. You'll see it more this year, and more as we go on, as men walk away from those kind of jobs and say, no, screw that. Build your own city. You know, build your own bridges. I can find a perfectly good job washing windows or, you know, running around in 2 men in a truck with my buddy and drinking beer half the day and installing a few doors, you know. There's other ways that men can work. I can work on the internet. I can work on computers. I can work, you know, selling products. I can work. There's a lot of things. You know, I could be a thief. I can become a rather than put myself in those kind of positions where I'm doing something dangerous. There's a lot of other things that I would rather be doing. And I'll tell you what, I'd rather be a crack dealer in the middle of Cleveland and do them jobs anymore. I would lose a little bit of my morality and to avoid those positions, because generally they don't deserve them. And that's what we're saying. We're taking these big two strong arms and we're gonna walk away, and then you get to do it, or you get the next best thing. Deal with it.
Matne. Kumanse. Sakunan.
Kumanse?
It's a perfectly good MGTOW ideology, you know, and you know, it was going to work. And as we get more and more MGTOWs and more men see the outrageousness of the system, let the Sims handle that shit. Yeah. Hey, trimheads, let the Sims handle that. Go handle that stuff. And matter of fact, why I'm walking away from all that bullshit, all the Sims, they can have like all them girls. You can have mine. And there's a couple down the street. There's Susie and Alice. They're both chicken heads. You can have those too. Have fun. Have fun, you know. These guys think that's going to be all so great. Whether one day they're going to wake up and like she's been riding the carousel. She's fucked all my buddies. All my buddies are laughing at me because I didn't. I'm the only person that didn't know was you. You know, I thought she was a perfect angel. I got a buddy. He was when I moved from Kent up to here. I lived around the Kent area. And then I moved up this way, and me and my buddy walked into it, and I can't remember the nickname. It was like everybody gets a turn on her, Alice, and she was the bar girl, and he was like standing there with Alice, and he was like, "This is my new girlfriend. We're engaged." And both me and my buddy Tommy, we got the look of horror in our eyes, and we're trying not to like, "Oh, really, you're engaged?" And both of us knew that we had done her at one point in our life. And we're like, "No, not that one." But she has gotten all worn out, and she had hit the wall, and she was starting to get a little ratchety looking. And she found a perfectly good simp, and he was telling us how she was the perfect girl, and it was horrifying. It really was. It was a horrifying moment in me and Tommy's life. Tommy was like, really, and I couldn't hold myself. I'm gonna go get some dog food. I had to excuse myself from the conversation because it was so horrifying. But that's what Simps. That's what Simps. There's always a simp. He's going to be willing to accept that in his life, and it makes it harder for every guy out there when we stop accepting those immoralities. Trim hits things. Beneful. I was looking at the cans of Beneful, and they were $1.79 a piece. And I know he likes them. I get one for him once in a while, and I'll order 10 of them for him. But that's his like snack. And but I was going to grab a few the other day. I was getting some Alpo to fill until my Amazon order Alpo came. And I went to grab, and I was like, "Some bitch, these things are expensive." And it's like filet mignon for dogs. He likes them, and he's worth it. The pack's about $6.50. Yeah. I was at one of those expensive grocery markets. You know, the ones that usually the prices were like doubled and everything for everything, and Heinen's or Giant Eagle or something like that. They weren't regular. The places that make outdoors, like the Aldi's or the Save-A-Lot, or we figure out how to order our stuff in bulk cheaper. That's what I do with my rice and my dry goods and pretty much dry vegetables and all that stuff. I order it in bulk from Amazon, so I never have to do that horrifying moment in the grocery store. But Dougie will appreciate it. He's a good dog. He really is a good dog, except for his he punches his head right through the screens. And I got a big roll of screening I bought because I'm really good at screening. I wanted to do something. Put my sign up pretty soon. I got to put my sign up now. You can get you can come to Joe and get your windows rescreened. I have that skill. And lots of people bring their screens. But I have to rescreen my windows a lot just because Dougie runs right at me. He's like a gliding missile at the screen, and it punches little head right through it. And then he likes to bark if he sees a cat or you know, God forbid he sees someone walking up the road. It's like that's the worst thing. They're on his property, and all the world that he surveys is his. And if he sees someone walking, he goes nuts. Oh yeah. But he is a good dog. Better than being wasted on a bitch. Yep. I can't afford Alpo for my dog. Don't buy Alpo from the store because it gets expensive. It's $1.69 a can. And what I do is I go on. You might want to check it out, and I'll put it in a low bar or something. If you got a dog, go to the add-on items at Amazon if you got an Amazon account. And you can't get it shipped unless you buy something else. So if you're buying like $25 worth of something else from Amazon Prime, but you got to have Prime, you can get the cases of Alpo for $6.89. $6.89. So I always buy 3 for the month for him, and that's a beautiful deal. That's one of the things Amazon does for you that you can't get anywhere else, because basically I go to the Sam's Club or the BJ's Club or any other store, and a case of Alpo is going to cost me $18 or something. Wow. Did I auto adjust? Yeah, I auto adjusted there. Freaks me out when it auto adjusts. I used to have to go like this, like, and adjust it. And now it auto adjusts. That freaks me out. That's my new camera. It's the Logitech. It's not the 957 or 937. Because I don't want to spend like $60.
I say,
it's the 435, and it works pretty good, I suppose. But the old one that was supposed to be full HD, they lied to me. I'm gonna have to write a bad review for that one. Because they flat out lied about that camera. Where is that piece of shit? I wanted to show you that one day.
Matne.
Yeah.
I say.
Yeah, these are the biggest scam in the world right now. The only thing I do like about them is they got these flexible things, and but that's what it looks like. And these things come out. They pump these things out of. They pump them out of China, and then they put different names on them, and that's one of the names right there. But this thing is like $36. There's all kinds of different names on this. The Technic. It's supposed to be 1080, full 1080, and everything. That's a piece of crap. It's a full. That's the first review I've ever done on a piece of crap, and but all of them resemble that. They have the barrel lens on them and everything, and they don't get quite the panoramic view as they're supposed to. They'll say they're 1080 and everything. Maybe in somebody's world they are, just not my world. And every time you move it, it doesn't pick up anything. No, the one I settled on was simply a 720. If you're thinking about the 720 Logitech, because you can only go 720 on YouTube anyway, so why get a 1080 if you can only go 720? And, well, maybe not. I think you could go HD now. It used to be you can only go 720 or whatever's available with your internet. That's what you can get, and usually it's only 720 for me. So what are we talking about in chat? I wouldn't be surprised if Lucifer was women and Fallen Angel were feminist. Yeah, you can look at that story, God's Hand, just an occasional treat. You can look at that story of Lucifer and everything. And, they mention him very, very few times in the Bible. If you do look at this story, and I think they say he's violet. He's the color of violet, and that symbolizes, and I don't know how they do about that then. If you look at the rainbow, it symbolizes nor here nor there. It's the two colors coming through each other at the end of the rainbow. And they say he's nor here, he's nor there. He's violet, he's purple. I think that's why they give the color of him as being purple. But yeah, I don't want to go too deeply into I used to be really good. I used to give I used to give sermons and stuff. I didn't know if you knew that. Back in the day, I was highly into, when I was a blue pill guy, I would go from church to church, and people would give me a certificate of accomplishment or something for coming and talking about things. So it's not like I don't know about that thing. I just don't bother people with it anymore because basically none of that shit worked out in my life, and it became a big lie like everything else. That's just the way the world works out. But we were all there at some time. We have doing what we were supposed to do in this world as young men, and believing everything that everybody wanted us to believe, doing the things that they wanted for us, and then at the end you realize that there was no love for you, and it was basically a lie. Do you dig motorcycles? Honestly, not. I probably look like I do belong on a motorcycle and everything, but I've had 3 buddies racked up in life, and I got to experience something of horror in life early on. When I was 16, 15 years old, I used to really like motorcycles and everything, and right around that time was the first Kawasaki 650s and 750s that came out. Remember those? They were super fast, and my buddy bought one, and he was going down one of the highways to see how fast it would go, and we had to pick up body parts off the side of the highway because it was sad, and they buried them in a box. Back then they just buried them in a kid's box, and it was sad. And I never tried to ride a motorcycle after that because I have one buddy that he's in a vegetated state right now. We go visit him once in a while, and I get to see that. He's like, hey, how you doing today? And he goes, and it's not pleasant. He grew up with this guy, and then my other buddy, which comes over a lot, you've seen him once here, not the little guy, but the other guy. And, he's had 5 pins put in his body. He's multiple pins all over his body from getting in motorcycle accidents. But so I was turned off to that. But my friends, they all like to ride and everything, and I never, I just says, don't fuck with the mufflers. They'll put like the loud mufflers on them, and the excuse is always so the cars around me can hear me, but that's the biggest lie in the world. And I try to explain to men the muffler decibels on a Harley are well rated, so it doesn't reflect off things. What happens is if you're on this side of a car and there's a guardrail over here and you're at a high decibel level, the sound reflects off the either the embankment or the girder, and then the driver thinks you're on the other side, and that's when accidents happen because he has no idea you're on the other side of them. And it's a deceptive thing. Sound is a deceptive thing when you're driving. You know that as a motorist or driver, is that so you should never screw with the that's my biggest advice that I give to the guys. Don't screw with the decibels, and don't do that. And wear some bright coloring because drivers don't see you. Loyola. Did Loyola lose or they win? Forest is Loyola. They're still in are they going to the Final Four or something? I haven't been trying to keep. I forgot I didn't bet as much as I talked to Joey about. I wanted to make some bets late, and I didn't do it. I didn't get down to the casino to do that, and I should just see if Joey would have took a bet with me. But I have no idea. I'm going to check today and see what the scores are on the Final Four. I might even be over for all I know. I've been paying attention lately. And but back to the topic of the day. I think the topic of the day is it a calling feel that you belong around here, and if you ask yourself that question, you answer it honestly and say that you feel you do belong in the calling, and that's it. And no other person in the world can change your mind about your decision to be here. And that's the kind of thing I want to see here and see around here. Men that actually will take it to a extent that the universe or some divine entity showed a MGTOW, and that's how they believe it. There was some calling that there's something deeper in the soul that you need. I think there's a lot of men out there now that have this calling to MGTOW, and they just don't know what they're looking for. We get sadly censored. I was looking over the trending. What was trending? If you want to just go and look over trending. What's trending? You know, you see that are getting 5 million. Really? But that's the world we live in. They're silly and goofy and feel good stuff, and women putting on their makeup because it sells. Because it sells. And that's what's trending, and that's the way YouTube is going and everything. You think, wow, some bitch. You know, the whole world's crazy. Trending is a show. If you ever just want to laugh about the rest of the world and see how ridiculous the rest of the world is, spend about 5 minutes on trending, on what's trending. You can push the button up there in your left-hand corner and and laugh. You know, there'll be some of the stupidest things you ever seen in your life. That's where me and Shiny one day seen Supergirl, one of the popular girls on YouTube, and she was doing the unicorn dance, and we were just sitting there like in horror watching the unicorn dance, and it was horrible. And our Jenna Marbles, if you ever listen to Jenna Marbles, you know, go experience that horror for yourself. Me, the only thing with MGTOW is this crazy battles we have with activist groups, PUAs, or yeah, that stuff gets old, and I wonder why they come out. My analogy to that is, why would you? I mean, if they're like that kind of mean person that would run over to another group, like say for instance the depressed people, or the people with problems with, they gather together in certain places. If your goal in life is to run over there and just screw with those people and troll them, that's pretty freaking evil, you know. Or you go over to the crack pot cookers just so you can like screw with them, the cast iron cooking guys out there. There's videos and they're if you're over there screwing, why would you come over to MGTOW? It has the same connotations about your evil intents. Why would they come over to MGTOW and screw with us, just knowing that they're not men that we're men sometimes that have been damaged, and men that just don't want to do that thing anymore because we have reasons why we don't want to do that thing anymore. We see what's going on in the world, and trying to do our own thing, coming over there and trolling wow, that's a tell in itself. That's why I don't feel bad when I see someone disagreeing with MGTOW like the new girl, the Neela. What's her name? Neela. She's a girl that lays on the carpet and tries to be sexy, and she's selling you some kind of goods, and usually it's her sexuality, and she wants 100,000 viewers so she can think, you do like I love that. We were watching that the other day, the PewDiePie YouTube Hype School, how to be a YouTuber, and he does you sucked a lot of dick on YouTube. You gotta, and then he has the wall of dicks that you gotta climb. That was just so hilarious. I thought, well, PewDiePie nailed it once in his life. If he made one video that really made sense, is that, you know. But that's what she's doing. It's hard to get. You can't get it. It's called Niagara Falls Porter. It's a heavier beer made in Niagara Falls. Something about the upper state New York beers. And I drink a lot of beers around the world and around the country all my life. We used to like going to microbrews and stuff like that when I was younger. And man, I had that upper state New York porter from Niagara Falls, and there's a little place right down in State College right there as you're coming down 90. You go down State College and the road down into the place where it's not in the college, it's where the kids go and everything. There's a little brewery there. I can't remember what you call it, but it's a microbrewery, and they make about a similar porter. It's an upper state New York porter. And I wish I could get it. There was this woman that used to be able to get quarter kegs of it when I had a kegerator. And I no longer have a kegerator because I don't drink that much. I should get. I was going to build one for my son, but he doesn't come around that much anymore. Because he's young and he drinks a little bit more. He drinks a lot more than I do. God, I remember being able to drink that much. There's maybe 2 or 3 beers a week now. But New York Falls, Niagara Falls Porter. Boy, if I could just get that shipped here, that would be a beautiful thing. I love that beer with a T-bone or a piece of prime rib. You can go up there and get a piece of prime rib for a decent price in Niagara Falls. You know, they got their prime rib deals at the restaurants all the time, you know, outside the casinos. And, you know, they used to have, I don't know if the casinos ate all that business up or not anymore, but you used to get a prime rib dinner for like $10, and you know, you get yourself a nice Niagara Falls porter with it, and it was like, I worked all year, and I get to go to Niagara Falls once a year and do this, and it was worth it. That was my vacation. Maybe it's just better. It was just better because, you know, that was my vacation after working 14, 15 hours a day, 12 hours a day for a whole year. You know, you're just happy to get I was just happy to get some macaroni, cheese, and a hot dog some days, you know, before I passed out. But, God, what a pathetic existence. I think about the working class and what we go through, and nobody appreciates us. Everybody thinks we're asking for too much money, you know. And it's like a pathetic existence I lived before I became MGTOW. And MGTOW will change your mind about that stuff. I don't know anything about that. Was he really being staked at home? Traversable was your own. Yeah, we were doing that. I have the keg, and my son brought some of those beer balls, and he was gonna do that brewing thing, and we're gonna brew our own. I make my own rum because rum is really easy to make, and I like rum, and rum tastes better when you make it yourself. I have a teapot, what's called a teapot distiller. I bought it from some guy on YouTube. If you ever just type in teapot distiller, and it's a teapot. You just put the thing on you pour it in. If you get the teapot with the top on, it's got the round top. You pour it off. You pour your stuff in there, and you pour your liquid that you made up. And you put it in there, and it's got a little thing, and you put your bottle, and it drips. You turn it on. Watch the gauge, get it up to 172 degrees, and then it'll come out 160 proof. Water that down a little bit, let it run a little more, and try to get it to about 80 to 100 proof, and you got yourself a bottle of rum for very little cost. It's beautiful. Trump Hits says the cost of pee is down, but it's still way overvalued. Yeah, you can get yourself a chicken head for two crack rocks now. I don't know how much crack it takes to do that. I would have no idea. Uh, I would suppose nowadays it would be very little. Get you, for, get yourself a chicken head for about anything anymore.
I will not allow my people to
but they're all
suffer
crackers
any longer.
now. All I see is crackers.
Will you accept
and
my
it's
surrender?
rather nasty.
Sakunan.
At least in my neighborhood. So spring's coming, and that's going to be an interesting day. Do you guys? I don't know if you guys think about it like I think about it. There's always that first Friday, the first Friday of spring, when the whole world goes nuts and all the sips come out, and there's fighting everywhere, and there's a drunkenness, and it's probably that like first 70, 80 degree day that a Friday rolls around in spring. And let me approve that message. I try to approve all the messages, but I sometimes have you ever made your own soda pop with ginger bug? No, I've never tried that. My brother, he makes soda pop. He carbonates. He actually he works for ginger pop breweries. He knows how to do it, and he carbonates his water. He's got a little tap next to his faucet, and he gets carbonated water out of there, and he has a little screw-on thing that he can put. He puts the cartridge in, and it just floats soda pop right out of the water. It's like, wow, cool. He usually keeps like 10 or 11 things. Sometimes it's just nice to have carbonated water that's so it tastes like that expensive water. What is that, Perrier? But it's nice to know. I can't do this. Get that at Kmart. That's really cool.
I say.
Probably really nice for parties and having around the house and everything like that. Do your own beer. Do your own stuff. Probably save you a ton of money too. Start doing your own beer if you can get a bigger brewing unit. You can make up to 500 gallons a year, I think, legally in your garage. And whiskey you can make legally. I had no luck making whiskey. Maybe it's just that I had no patience. I had patience. But the last time I tried it, I got that haze over the top of it. When the bacteria builds up and it's like, it's ruined. I don't know how to, maybe I didn't heat the liquid long enough or something. I don't know. When you're making your wort, your beer wort, but I have no luck making whiskey, and it's probably a good thing that an Irish guy has no luck making whiskey, but I drink myself to get death. If you do, be careful with the fruit ones. I painted my ceiling once in a strawberry soda when it opened up, and it was powerful. Yeah. Oh, that thing will explode and it'll hit the ceiling. Yeah. Then you gotta clean it. Clean it sucks too. Once in a while, I just kind of with a sponge mop and just kind of wipe them off. But cleaning your ceilings sucks. I smoke too, so the ceilings need to be cleaned once in a while. Yeah, how long have we been going? I've been going here a little over an hour and 20 minutes. I was 3 minutes late because I had things to do. I was getting company at that time, and unexpectedly Dougie started barking. And 20 minutes, and I don't want to go on too much longer unless somebody wants to come in. And I'll just rehash the topic. The topic was you passed do you feel empty without MGTOW anymore? Do you feel something up in you? Yeah, I was like mopping the feelings. You guys don't have to. That's the computer fund, and that's what I buy this equipment with. And I'm not going to beg for it.
Matne.
But the topic for today was
Ikok.
passion, your passion for this thing. And
Ku.
if you ask yourself that question honestly, and you are passionate, and you do believe that you're one of the guys that that had a calling to MGTOW, that's great because you belong here. When you apply that and you look around the rest of MGTOW, and these guys are doing the halfway purple MGTOW, or the we're going to bring the trannies over, DAOs and stuff like that. There goes my voice. Now we've got the Batman voice. But yeah, if you can apply that and ask yourself that question, whether you belong here, and then you look around, and you can, it becomes clear and honest when you look around what you're seeing around you, and then around here, and then just think it's a game, play some fun games, or play tiddlywinks with life's ideologies and moralities. Them guys we don't meet around here, and they often get called out. And then they get madder and madder, and then they start stomping their feet and saying, I'm a MGTOW too, even though he's dressing up like a girl, or, you know, screwing dolls, and political aspirations, like Tucker Carlson all day. You know? I don't know what that is. I seen a video today they put up, and he was being all batshit crazy in it, and he believes that it's there's scientific proof that immigration is bad for people. And when he came to the scientific proof, he said because his scientific proof was because people aren't designed for that. I just started laughing. Trav, I spent 5 minutes looking up old Russian vodka when you choose not to try it because it has 3 types of poisons that no one measures. Yeah, vodka is it's the old you know, bathtub vodka thing where it's poisoning people. I don't make vodka, and there goes my alarm. It's a dog alarm. It's and with that, I think I'm gonna wrap this thing up. And Doug's coming in here. Say goodbye to everybody. Doug's coming in here. Say goodbye. Doug's coming in here. He listens. Never. Hey, there you are. Say goodbye to everybody, and we're going to wrap this thing up because Doug wants something. I don't know exactly what it is he wants out of life. Maybe to go outside. Maybe it's just to bark at the cats. And whatever it is, he's going to not let that thing go. And but I'm going to wrap it up just basically because I've been going too long now. Anyways, and think about your passions and MGTOW. Think about, you know, I'm sure most of the guys that come around here believe that they belong, or there was a calling, and why you were called. We were called for something greater, you know, to push this MGTOW thing. It's the MGTOW in the early years. We have to have strong, passionate men to do this, push it through, so the whole world wakes up sometimes and starts acting not as crazy as they were. Maybe some of the laws will be changed. Maybe it'll be a better place for men and next generation if we are just strong enough to continue doing this. But most of the days, it's just been taking abuse and people yelling at you, and that's when the measure of a man's grit will be measured. That's when his mettle will be measured. And I'd rather have 100 MGTOWs around me that were passionate about it and had a calling to it than you know, 1,000 guys that were wishy-washy about their MGTOW you know, intentions. And with that, Thanks a lot for coming around, MGTOWs. There would be no MGTOWs. There would be no MGTOW if there wasn't MGTOWs, and there'd be no me here. And life would be pretty miserable out there because I'd be wandering around with that same old hole in my soul that I've been trying to fill forever. And the young kids wouldn't be getting good information from men that have true and honest intentions for their future rather than trying to make them utilities. It's about you, each and every one of you, and the job you do around here every day, getting this out and making sure every young man is informed in his life. It's up to him how he takes it, but that is your job, and that's my job, and that's what I'll continue to do till the day I die, or they take away my internet and put me in jail. But but thanks a lot for coming around, MGTOWs, and like always, it's you, and most of all, MGTOW. Thanks a lot for being MGTOW. MGTOW.
I'm gonna cut this thing down. I have finished the game. I'm gonna put it on pause. It's about that time. So, have a good day, you guys.